All right, Platinum.
Howdy.
Platinum. Where'd you grow up? Where are you from originally?
Well, born at Hollywood Presbyterian, born and raised out in Los Feliz, Hollywood, California. Hollywood, California.
What was your family like?
My family, like, well, I come from a bloodline of extremely, extremely beautiful people. My dad, on my bloodline side, was a biker for Filthy Few out of San Bernardino. And he knocked up my mom, who was a beautiful, I believe she bred horses. And anyways, my mom was young, and my dad was busy being a badass musician and biker. So they put me up for adoption after all said and done. So I was raised by the most like beautiful man and woman you've ever met in your life. I'm, my mom's a nurse, spina bifida, nurse practitioner, and my dad is a rocket scientist working with Boeing and his own companies. And he's retired now, worrying about me, and has every right to be, you know? Anyways, they're the most beautiful people on this side of Georgia, and probably that side too. They're a beautiful Jewish family out of Los Feliz, like I was saying. And I've got one brother that was also adopted into their family. And he's amazing too. He's in France now with his wife. And then I've got two other two actually blood siblings. I have my older sister. Oh God, I could go on crying about her for days. She's she's the moon in my night sky. She's those stars that don't stop shining, no matter how smoggy it gets over LA.
Here you go.
Thanks. And then I got my crazy brother Richard, who he takes after my dad. They're all my dad's kids, my real father, and we all have different moms, and we're bad as fuck, you know. Pardon my French, with all due respect. We're something else. Yeah.
What were your teenage years like?
Oh my gosh, I was in and out of I was kicked out of LAUSD when I was about 13 in 7th grade for some nudie pictures that my girlfriend took of myself while my parents were at the street fair. My girlfriend and I were being normal teens, and we took some Polaroids that I wanted to take to school for my boyfriend. Yeah, well, I got him to school all right, and the teacher found him. So I had CPS show up at my parents' house that evening, and as I ran to the bathroom and took a bunch of Tylenol, trying to figure out, oh my God, my parents are seeing these pictures. Do I want to be another day in this household? I got dismissed from all the public school systems out here in Los Angeles. So I went to private schools, continuation schools mainly, all throughout the Valley, and Southern California. Pretty much, I was bused on the little school bus every which way from Sunday, everywhere, and kicked out of quite a few of those for smoking pot behind the shed, that type of thing. Yeah.
Do you have kids?
Do I have kids? I've got one beautiful daughter. Just as much as I have her, she has me. You know, in our lives, we go through a lot, and I believe it all happens for its own reason. I'm a really, really, really firm believer in that. So when I got pregnant with her, there was no ifs, ands, or buts on whether or not I was going to keep her, have her, which I did. I gave birth to a beautiful, about 7-pound baby, this little fat, healthy, beautiful girl with a beautiful smile. And I was malnourished during the time of birth, and my face was cracked open pretty bad to where I was pushing her out and there was blood pushing from my face. So I made it up to Northern California. The day I went into labor, I jumped in a ride share and went up to Vallejo, Kaiser Permanente, where my girlfriend delivered my beautiful, beautiful daughter, Evangeline. And although she was taken at birth, she was never taken, You never leave your kids,
You were using drugs at the time?
During the pregnancy? At the beginning half of it, yeah, I was.
That's why they took her?
No, she had no drugs in her system. On my skin. My husband will tell you otherwise. He'll say, oh, she got our daughter taken because she had dope in her system. No, kid didn't have drugs in her system at all. The day I went into labor, after I popped her out, I took a hit of dope, and I told them about it. So I gave them piss test too, which was really probably stupid, but I was just being honest. I was being way too honest for my own good. But no, she had no drugs in her system, and she'd be able to tell you that if when she sees this, she'll have the paperwork. I think I signed it to where she could figure out everything, or be given all the A's and Z's, A to Z about me when she turns 18. So no drugs in her system.
So you have one child?
No, I did not just have one child. I had two. I have an 8-month-old baby boy in heaven. His name is Caleb Alan Scott Janice, and that was nine and a half years. Well, October 13th, 2013, that I buried that baby boy, along with his father. Excuse me. Humboldt County, Northern California. What to say about it is it'll give you life just as easy as it'll take life. And I know that rodeo well, They can't tell me how my son died. They say it's an inconclusive death certificate. And I have to keep trucking with that one every day. Cuddled with him in the morgue for the first 2 days. After he passed, 4 hours the first day, 3 hours the next. And I went, and that's how I started doing drugs. I mean, I went to the dealer's house right then and there and said, make me numb. There was a 3-day manhunt for my husband because he dropped my son off at the hospital dead on arrival. And they looked for him in the hills of Mendocino County for 3 days. Manhunt, ATVs, helicopters, search dogs, you name it. And he was a man of Mendocino. And, you know the hills over there. And he knew them better than he knew his own self. So he was able to divert the law, and he hid up there is what we put together, because his body was found a quarter mile from our 168-acre family farm ranch. He was found a quarter mile from our property. 2 bullet holes to the head. They said he had to shoot himself twice with a .22 rifle, which makes no damn sense at all. It's controversy as to what happened or I don't know if it's controversy is the word for it, because I'm not really quite sure what that means. But give or take, they can't tell me how my son died, and my husband's body was unrecognizable when they found it. His dad identified the body. My husband had tattoos head to toe. He had a smile. You couldn't even couldn't even fake or drop or buy from MacArthur Park, you know. Anyways, I miss them every day. And, you know, sometimes I'm even crazy enough to think, hey, you know, maybe it's a hoax. Maybe they're really not dead after all. Maybe they just went into hiding or something stupid. But we all have conspiracies, and you know, I'm just grateful I was able to have them in my life. You know, for the amount of time I did.
And where has your life gone since then?
Where hasn't it gone? I was in the Slammer out in Arizona the day of my son's funeral. I was asked to check in with probation, non-control probation in Arizona, for I was on probation for aggravated assault and misconduct with firearms. Out of Arizona, like I was saying, I was renting to buy a private airstrip in Lake Montezuma, Arizona. I had a house out in Rimrock, on a private airstrip I was renting to buy, and I was growing a bunch of weed. I had about 448 plants in the airplane hangar up there, and I had a bunch of customers in the house, like a bunch of weed customers, you know, partying, and my brother shows up from SFE with a Harley and a whore, all methamphetamine militiaed out, and comes and knocks on the door, and I'm like, hey bro, it's not the time right now, you know, here's a few bills, can you go to the casino, you know, figure some things out, I just come back in a day or two. And it's been a long time coming with him, and I've loved him all my life. He's when I say my brother, really he was my first real lover. We're not related. We just grew up not like side by side in the same household, but he's from SFE and I'm from Hollywood and I claim SFE. So, you know, mainly because of him, you know, out there at Tampa and Wells was mom and dad's house on his side. And when he showed up, and I told him to bounce, he leaned against the doorway like, you know, he owned the spot. And I owned the spot. Like, I was married at the time, and my husband was off at war, and I was supporting that household's rent, another household's rent, right in Durango, Colorado for my lady, and I was paying my brother's wages out in Colorado as well, Grand Junction. So I'm like, wait a minute. And I didn't even think a second or wait any fucking damn minute. I headbutted him and I grabbed his pistol from his holster like he fucking taught me to do. He taught me how to fight, how to do multiple other things. Anyways, private security, right? So I grabbed his pistol and I pistol whipped him with it. Because, and at that point, you know, I had already headbutted him, now pistol whipped him. I thought, well, fuck, I'm in some trouble here. He's a big boy, and I mean big boy. This man is, he's a walking, talking, you know, disaster child, just like myself. Anyhow, he stunnedly stepped back, and I grabbed his gun lock, and I guess I inappropriately kind of just got out of control, and I hit him like 32 times or something with it. And so he went and let the fire station know that, you know, he had gotten beat up pretty bad by his baby sister, and she's toting guns and fucking growing weed up on the airstrip. So ATF, DEA, and all of Arizona fucking law show up at my spot, and I'm like driving in my freaking, I was renting a car and I had my beautiful big white wolf with me, White Thorn. And we're driving and we're watching the cops on the house, right? And I'm like, fuck, but this is not gonna go away. I mean, they're fucking guns drawn, fucking all around the house, all on the airstrip. And I call my lawyer out here in California, the best damn lawyer, and one of my best friends. Till this day, I say, Gail, I'm like, damn it, I fucked up this time. I fucked up again, let's put it that way. And she goes, baby girl, you got an APB out at the border. You know, you might as well turn yourself in. And so I drove up, and I'm like, hey, copper, is my brother okay? And it took them a minute. I mean, they were all, you know, their backs are to me, and I'm driving up in my vehicle anyways, probably saying a little bit too much, but I drove up, and I'm like, you know, I approached them. I'm like, hey, is my brother okay? And it took them like 30 seconds to tell me to get down on the floor. Or they didn't realize it was me or some shit. Like, get down after fucking a good 30 seconds of me standing there, like, you know? Yeah. Yeah. So, Arizona Police Department, you know, second Yavapai County. So I was on probation for all that, and I missed probation check-in the day of my son's funeral. I had an interstate compact thing going on, and I ended up doing 4.5 years Arizona State Pen a few months after I buried my son and my husband. So I had a fugitive justice no bail warrant out for my arrest, and I turned myself in to do the time, get it behind me. I probably would have been, fucking off my life to a certain extent to where I would have not been alive today if I didn't do that prison time. So I'm more than okay with it. My poor parents. But yeah.
And since prison, you've done what?
Oh gosh, golly. Well, actually, right after prison, I stayed at my parents' house after I was done with the whole, probation, get down out there in Arizona, or maybe I interstate compacted again, I'm not sure. Anyways, I ended up there at my parents' house, and I had called a girlfriend of mine and said, "Hey, listen, I'm back in town, and I really want to go out. I'm broken up with so and so now. You have anyone you can suggest?" And she's like, "I sure do. I'm gonna send my uncle over there. He'll be there shortly." And shortly really meant 15 minutes. I got a phone call. Robert's out front. The minute I saw that man, the minute I saw him, I went, "God, Jesus, boy." I said, "I know that smile from somewhere." And a year and a half later, I saw it on my daughter. During that time that I was pregnant with her, and I was getting to spend the years of our lives, in this lifetime at least, with him. This time around, the pregnancy was hard. It was hard. We stayed at his mom's house there in Glendale. His mom had already passed, and I loved Robert with every single inch of my being and soul, and I still do. His brother had tried to course me about a month and a half after being pregnant with his daughter, and I turned him down. "I'm in love with your brother. What is this?" And so he told his brother when he got home from work that he had caught me with a black man in his bedroom while he was at work. Being there, like, sexually active. And problem was, I did have a friend of mine over, Christian, who was giving me law advice. He's a lawyer's assistant. He was, rest in peace. And so I was screwed, I was screwed. I was like, yeah, I had somebody over, but I wasn't fucking them, and well, of course, he believed his good old pal over me. So
what are you doing on Skid Row now?
Oh, what am I doing on Skid Row? Well,
What brings you here?
Pardon?
What brings you here?
What brings me here? Probably a better question than what is it that I do down here. What brings me here is the drugs. I kind of lost it after I gave up my daughter for adoption. I came back down here to Southern California because I was up there in Northern California for a while visiting her and trying to hold my bearings up there, being homeless, dealing with CPS, and not homeless exactly. My parents put me up in a hotel for a while, and then when things started getting a little bit, fickly, like I was supposed to come down to Los Angeles and watch Bobby's mom's house out there in Glendale while he went to prison. He was going in for about 3 years. We already knew it. We had been fighting it in court for quite a while, and so we decided, okay, I would come down from Solano County, and take care of things down here in Los Angeles. And I could say I did, but I didn't because I stayed at the house for the first week until I was asked to leave by the LAPD. I guess Bobby had sold the property, and so I became homeless for the first time in my life, and Skid Row is where I ended up. I met some of the most trifling people down here, but I met some of the most beautiful people that I've ever met in my life. I met some really beautiful ones in Europe, you know, especially Switzerland, but I've got my drummer here, my two guitarists, Patty and Ziggy, and you know, I wouldn't trade them in to you know, get clothes if I was naked on a rainy day. I wouldn't trade them in for anything. I love them with all my heart. I love them with all my heart and soul. The name of my band is NBW for No Bail Warrants, right? And because I never have bail. I thought it was crafty. I came up with it when I was, you know, spitting some tracks with my girl up there in Linwood County one year, Victoria, and we put together this album and we certified it. We called ourselves NBW, and so I brought that out here to the streets. I mean, I'm really the only, you know, functioning member in my band. Not really functioning at all, but you know, I haven't seen Vicky for the past few years, and my drummer, like I said, I have, which I do, and my two guitarists. They're just we're not whole yet. So, I mean, they are in my band, actually. Okay, so maybe I'm not the only one. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But, yeah, I hope I answered your question. I kind of sidetracked. But no, I think I did, yeah. I did.
The drug you're using now is what?
The drug I'm using now is the devil. I believe it's chemical warfare. You know, I believe that, it's maybe a conspiracy theory, but I believe fentanyl was brought here to kill off the American dream. Heroin, I think, was crack and heroin were produced into the community and didn't do a good enough job. You know, they give us something we kill ourselves with. I mean, that's fucking brilliant. Chemical warfare, if you ask me.
And how do you support yourself now?
Okay, supporting myself now. Well, I'm a dominatrix certified out of Oakland, so I've been trying to get in touch with the dungeon here in downtown LA, but I run my own gig right here on Skid Row. Actually, we have like, you know, kind of like an after hours situation, and I'm not having I got no trouble with it. Like, you know, it's
there's a market for dominatrix.
Yeah, there's a market for dominatrix. Dominatrix market 101. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are into all kinds of stuff right there.
Yeah,
especially down here.
Yeah.
You still have friends?
Do I still have friends? You know, I miss my friends. So when you say, do I still have friends? I miss my brother Jordan, who I did the prison term for. I haven't talked to my girlfriend Joelle, who delivered my girl, in too long. And friends, no, and I have them in my heart, you know. And I've got a lot of acquaintances. Fuck, everyone knows the name Platinum, you know. But someone I can turn to, Sonny. I have Sonny. Yeah, I have Sonny Cool, and he's my friend, all right. He's my manager, and one of the most he completes the circle. Anyways, Sonny Cool is cool, man. You know, it ain't cool no more, Sonny. It ain't cool. I got Sonny Cool. I have friends. I have a friend, yeah.
What are you afraid of?
What am I afraid of?
At this point in your life?
Oh, Daddy, fear is an insult to God. I don't have any fear. That's the problem. That's probably a really big problem with me. I just got stabbed up on Skid Row about a month ago.
Show me your scars are pretty impressive.
Scars are pretty impressive.
Show me your arm.
Yeah, my nails aren't done right now. I'm a little bit upset about that. I'm actually very upset. I'm on my way, so don't judge. I did a surgery or two to get my hand better, but I haven't even shown my parents yet. So
what was that over?
Someone had stolen some.
You have another one on your leg.
Yeah, I do. Someone had stolen some money from me, and the money belonged to somebody else. And so I wasn't able to put the money together in time, or at least that's what I believe it was over. You know, I told law enforcement that there was something in a clown suit, or fucking, I don't know the guy's name or anything like that, so it's not. Anyways,
Do you have any regrets in your life?
I have no regrets. Life is definitely what we make of it, and I believe it's pre-planned. So if I run with regrets or if I run with fear, I'm spitting on God. God is beautiful. God is in my beliefs. And this is all pre-planned. I mean, I believe that we have choice. We have choices. We can strive for better. Strive for with numerology, you graduate 1 through 9. That's your life, that's your life path. And I believe that if next lifetime, if I do maybe something different, maybe my son won't pass away in the next lifetime. Anyways, it sounds kind of cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, so I'll leave it alone. But mainly, no fear, no regrets. Yeah. You can't.
Platinum, what would you say is the most important lesson you've learned in your life?
Holy shit. Well, you got to get it while you can. You got to get it while you can. That's the most important lesson I've learned. I haven't learned all the lessons in life yet. I'm still open for suggestion, and knowledge is power, so,
All right. Platinum, thank you so much for sharing your story.
Yeah, you're welcome, loved one. You're welcome.
Stay out of trouble.
Stay out of trouble, man. Trouble needs to stay out of me, The trouble needs to stay out of me, yeah.
All right. Thank you very much.
Right.